James Monroe, the fifth President of the United States, was born on April 28, 1758, in Westmoreland County, Virginia, into a prosperous family. A prominent figure in the early years of the American Republic, Monroe's life and legacy were shaped by his commitment to public service, a strong belief in American independence, and an enduring desire to promote national unity. His presidency, 1817 to 1825, is most famously marked by the Monroe Doctrine, which solidified the United States' stance on foreign policy for decades to come. Monroe was born during the pre-Revolutionary era, the second son of Spence Monroe and Elizabeth Jones Monroe. He attended the College of William and Mary in Williamsburg, Virginia, before the American Revolutionary War broke out. At the age of 18, Monroe left college to join the Continental Army in 1776. Serving under General George Washington, Monroe became a captain and participated in several significant battles, including the Siege of Yorktown in 1781, which led to the surrender of British forces and ultimately the end of the Revolutionary War. This experience greatly influenced his political views and his later advocacy for a strong national defense. After the war, Monroe studied law under Thomas Jefferson, a friendship that would deeply influence his career. He entered politics in Virginia and was elected to the Virginia House of Delegates. Monroe's early political career was intertwined with the struggle to establish the new republic's identity. He served in the Continental Congress, where he became an advocate for a strong national government. Monroe was initially critical of the Articles of Confederation and later played a key role in the drafting and ratification of the U.S. Constitution. He continued to rise through the ranks of American politics, serving as a U.S. Senator from Virginia from 1790 to 1794. During this time, Monroe was a member of the Democratic-Republican Party, led by Jefferson, which opposed the Federalist Party's more centralized government. Monroe's political alignment with Jefferson led him to serve as the U.S. Minister to France from 1794 to 1796, where he witnessed firsthand the tumult of the French Revolution. Monroe's diplomatic career further solidified his reputation as an advocate for American sovereignty and independence. He was appointed U.S. Minister to the United Kingdom in 1799 and played a key role in negotiations that led to the Treaty of Paris in 1803, which secured the Louisiana Territory from France. However, his most important diplomatic achievement came during his time as Secretary of State under President James Madison from 1811 to 1814. As Secretary of War during the War of 1812, Monroe helped oversee American efforts against Great Britain. Though the war ended inconclusively, Monroe's leadership during this turbulent period strengthened his reputation. In 1823, during his presidency, Monroe issued a statement that would define U.S. foreign policy for generations, the Monroe Doctrine. This doctrine declared that the Western Hemisphere was no longer open to European colonization, and that the United States would consider any European interference in the Americas as a threat to its own peace and security. The Monroe Doctrine solidified the United States' position as the dominant power in the Western Hemisphere and remains a cornerstone of American foreign policy. Monroe's presidency, often referred to as the era of good feelings, was marked by political unity following the end of the War of 1812. Monroe sought to transcend party lines and promote national unity, which was particularly important after the divisions caused by the war. Under his leadership, the country saw economic growth, territorial expansion, and the resolution of long-standing issues with foreign powers. Monroe's administration is notable for the acquisition of Florida from Spain in 1819, the result of the Adams-Onis Treaty. This acquisition helped secure U.S. control of the southern border and further opened the country to expansion. Monroe also oversaw the admission of Missouri as a state in 1821, a process that was fraught with debates over the expansion of slavery. The Missouri Compromise, which allowed Missouri to join the Union as a slave state while Maine entered as a free state, was a key moment in the effort to balance the interests of slave and free states. Monroe faced internal challenges, including the rising tensions over slavery, but he largely avoided direct confrontation. His presidency, however, was marred by an economic depression known as the Panic of 1819, which highlighted the nation's vulnerability to financial crises. After serving 2 terms, Monroe retired from public life in 1825, returning to his home in Virginia. He continued to be active in various public duties, including serving as a trustee of the University of Virginia. He passed away on July 4, 1831, at the age of 73, becoming one of the 5 U.S. presidents to die on Independence Day. Monroe's legacy is most enduring in the form of the Monroe Doctrine, which served as a guiding principle for U.S. foreign policy for much of the 19th and 20th centuries. His tenure helped shape the United States as a nation that was self-reliant, with a clear stance against European interference in the Americas. Though his presidency was not without challenges, Monroe's vision for a united and secure nation helped pave the way for the country's future expansion and its evolving role on the global stage. As one of the founding fathers, Monroe contributed significantly to the nation's development, particularly through his diplomatic efforts and his support for territorial expansion. His presidency laid the groundwork for future political debates over the expansion of slavery, the balance of power between the federal government and states, and America's role in global affairs. In summary, James Monroe was a significant figure in American history whose leadership during the era of good feelings and his creation of the Monroe Doctrine left a lasting imprint on the nation's political and foreign policy trajectory. His commitment to American sovereignty, territorial expansion, and national unity continues to be remembered as a defining element of his presidency.